As Bitcoin tries to continue its move back to the upside after seemingly establishing a strong level of support on this key macro support level, we're starting to see things like Solana and many of our other altcoins seeing some pretty strong progress at this point. So in today's video, we're just going to do a quick update on Solana, just talking a little bit about what's going on with the price. We are at a very important moment in terms of if we are capable of revisiting up to this 140 level. And so for that reason, we're going to go forward. We're going to just take a quick look at what's going on with Solana and how we can go about it, of course. So looking at Solana, what we know is that realistically, we have been comparing this larger move right here to this smaller version of itself back here. Now, let me kind of talk about some of the comparisons so you understand where I'm coming from. So of course, what we talked about were going to be three key identifiers of some similarities, right? The first similarity was going to be the fact that we had a macro trend line that we needed to break, obviously. Now, once we got the breakout, we went up and we set a new higher high off the most recent macro regional high, as you can see. Then from there, we came back down, and off that same move, we looked to establish support on top of the 618 to 786 macro Fibonacci level before looking to continue to the top side. And if you look at the smaller version of this move itself, we had a macro trend line that we needed to break, we had a high that we needed to clear, and we came back down to the 618 level. So we broke it, we cleared the high, we established a new regional higher high, we came back down to the 618 to 786 level, and then we use that to continue towards the top side. So as you can see, it all has pretty much, like, for the most part, played out in a very similar fashion. Now, that is no surprise. Solana has a tendency to work very similarly to what it does in history. Now, again, you guys know the good old saying, history doesn't always repeat itself, but it does rhyme sometimes. So they're not always the same. Of course, as we can see, this move did kind of sit around the 618 level a little bit longer and actually wick down into the box, whereas this one just bounced off the box, but you get the general concept. Now, at this point, we do have another move that will be very, very important, in my opinion, for Solana to be able to continue towards the top side. And what that's going to be is the clearing of a level that has provingly been extremely important, and that's the 20 simple moving average. What I know is that when we are below that 20 simple moving average, we are in bearish territory and in a position to see falls towards the downside at any given point that could be quite substantial. But when we are holding above the 20 simple moving average, we have historically been able to see higher highs and really start to work towards the upside, almost never failing. If we are able to come back up, hold support above that level, it is almost always that we will bounce towards the top side of our Bollinger Band envelopes, which in this example does get us back up towards $140. So considering the fact that our last purchase from about, I'd like to say 3 or 4 videos, either 3 videos ago or 4 videos ago, we did a purchase at $101. I am definitely happy about the fact that we are at 109, but I would like to see us get back above this 20 SMA in order for us to get back above, towards these 120 to 140 levels. So looking at this thing, what we can see is that we are currently retesting this 20 simple moving average. We are looking to get back above it at this point. Similarly to what we saw back here, as you guys can see, we bounced, we came back below this 20 SMA, bounced off to 618. We came up, we accumulated, we shot up, and then we back tested it, held it as support, and continued to the top side. And that is the exact type of move that I would be looking for from Solana right here. I will not get too excited, and I will not be doing major buying if we just go back up and we never come back to retest it, okay? Or if we don't come back to retest it within the next couple of days. The reason being is, as you can see, the times in which we don't, we have a tendency to come back and fail it, and fail it. We need to see something of this nature where we go up and almost near immediately come back down, hold that level of support, and then continue to the top side. That's the type of move I'm looking for, again, similar to what we saw back here. So my current game plan is that if we're capable of getting above this 20 SMA, backtesting and holding, okay, we see something of this nature in which we backtest, hold it, then clear the high that we set, I will be doing another accumulation on Solana. At that point, I am under the belief we would come back up to revisit as high as $150, and I do think that we could be in a position to really start to see some strong growth, as we would then see this bullish cross that I'm going to cover in a couple of days. This bull cross would happen on the daily MACD. The bullish divergence would be confirmed here on the Solana RSI, as we have talked about previously, and then that does put us in a position to really start to see some stronger growth towards the upside to recapture some of these previous highs in which we had set throughout that fall to the downside around 206, then maybe, from 150, maybe we're looking at 206 to next 225 or something of that nature. But it all comes down to right now, do we get back above this 20 SMA? Do we hold it and then use it as support, of course, to continue towards the upside? Now, looking at it from the shorter time frames, I definitely think we're in a position to do so. We definitely can see here that if you look at just the 4-hour MACD, we are still in a position of bullishness. Let's kind of just go ahead and move that a little. There we go. We are in a position of bullishness. All of the times in which we would get these little mini bear crosses, they are getting negated liquidated immediately. The bulls are stepping in and continuing this run to the top side. And looking at in comparison with our RSI, we are still trending upwards. I do think we're going to start to get movement such as this pretty soon, in which you see these strong resets on the 4-hour RSI. As the price does get really choppy towards the upside, it will become necessary that we do that because we are getting relatively close to an overextended point in which we get close to that 70. But as you can see, we have started somewhat of the process of getting this choppy movement to the upside to allow our price to open that door. Now, if at any given point we do start to see the price rolling back towards the downside and losing $98, I told you guys that is whenever I will start to get a little bit concerned. I think if we lose $98, at that point we will likely come back to set the lower low off of this one, which puts us in a position to revisit 90 or even the mid 80s. So for that reason, I will go ahead and say that anything I said in today's video is completely invalidated with the loss of $98. So as long as we're above 98, we're looking good, and I am still looking to see us chase that, getting above that 20 SMA to do my next accumulation. But if at any given point we do start to roll, be on the lookout, look to see that do we hold $98, and if we don't, do be expecting that we do push towards the low 90s to even mid to high 80s. So with that said, that's going to be the quick update of the day. That's my game plan, and that's what I'm looking for next from Solana's price, and exactly how I'm going to try to take advantage of it by maximizing my gains in the most justifiable and efficient way possible. So with that said, that is about it. I hope you guys did enjoy, and of course, I will see you all next time. Peace.